Alfred Hitchcock loved playing around with illusion and reality, and as we discussed in our last segment on his 1930 film Murder, his happy place was that world where spectatorship, theater, and cinema intersect. That hybrid space was also a perfect metaphor for real-life concerns, like how do we engage with persons who have racial or gender realities that are unlike our own? He didn't answer those questions with any kind of logic, but in bringing them up, he guided us to seek the answers with our heart. Obviously, these questions are as urgent today as they were a century ago. Like the actor Handel Fane, Tippi Hedren's Marnie just doesn't fit in. What she feels on the inside doesn't match what people see on the outside.
Oh, help me! Help me! Oh, God, somebody help me!
For Hitchcock, that dysmorphia could be expressed in the metaphor of cinema, a private island where he, as a heavy-set man, could live vicariously through the graceful and physically perfect actors he worked with. It's through that lens that we might want to view the opening scene from Marnie. Before we dive deeper though, if you haven't seen this movie, you'll want to get up to speed. The best way to do that is to let Hitch himself tell you all you need to know.
How do you do? I'm Alfred Hitchcock, and I would like to tell you about my latest motion picture, Marnie.
Click the link in the article below, and afterward, be sure to come back for the rest of this video. Hitchcock referred to Marnie as a sex mystery, and this opening shot gets right down to it. When I was a teenager, I saw this movie with my mother, and the scene made her gasp and lunge for the remote control. So that was awkward. Anyway, surrounded by the close-trimmed fur of that tweed jacket, the purse looks, well, you get the point. Of course, that's just classic Freud, Hitch's go-to source for symbols. His close-ups have a way of fetishizing ordinary objects, and that's certainly true here. Sure, a mysterious woman is carrying that purse, but that purse carries the scene. More poetically, it captures a moment of the feminine mystique. University of Miami film professor William Rothman points out the bag echoes the framing of the Universal logo shown at the beginning of the credits. He says, the globe becomes this handbag as if the handbag is or contains the world as a whole, the way a mother's womb is or contains her unborn child. Sure, I'll buy that. Either way, the scene ignites our curiosity in a variety of ways.
In the cheap erotic fashion of young men with cheap erotic minds.
Okay, sure, but also with questions, like what's in that burgeoning, swollen handbag? Where has its owner been? Where is she going? That's the power of this purse. Okay, so why is the purse yellow and not, I don't know, pink? Well, if you've seen the movie, you know that the color red figures significantly in this story. I'd say that Hitch was thinking like a painter and added in the yellow as a sort of harmonic color to the red. 5 years later, in his aptly named film Topaz, red and yellow symbolized the Cold War between communism and the West as they engaged in their dance macabre of spycraft. Also, while red really stands in for Marnie's closed-off subjective experience, the yellows really seem to be for our benefit, standing out to capture our attention. After all,
we could stand gladiolas.
Between them, the two colors engage us to share in Marnie's world for a moment. And then return us to our position as audience members. Or putting it another way, the red helps us to feel, while the yellow often prompts us to observe. Yellow shows up as a color pop in scene after scene after scene after scene after scene after scene. It even tends to come up in dialogue.
What do you like in the next race?
Lemon pudding. He's finished third his last 3 times out. He's got a good jockey up to date.
Well, lemon pudding it is.
You take yours with lemon, don't you, Lil? Yes, lemon for Lil, Mary.
Yellow is a happy, generally positive color. It could also be that yellow refers to aspects of power and freedom, things that can be bought if you have enough, well, gold, right? For instance, scholar John Belton has pointed out that Mark's father, an icon of patriarchal privilege, is introduced wearing a gold vest. Diane Baker's Lil Mainwaring is introduced in a yellowish-green suit as she casually dips her hand into the company safe. Later, Marnie wears yellow when she joyously mounts the horse that Mark, played by Sean Connery, has brought back into her possession. And, of course, Marnie wears her yellow blonde hair proudly, like a helmet protecting her autonomy. Red may dominate the movie's central mystery, but for that pivotal, climactic rape scene, the scene that screenwriter J. Preston Allen said was the whole reason Hitch made the movie, yellow dominates. Mark, in his gold silk pajamas, wraps his bathrobe around Marnie, taking possession of her in a moment that echoes the gold leaf artistry of Gustav Klimt's Kiss. I believe that all of the other instances of yellow throughout the film actually point toward that rape scene in the way spirals presage the tower scene in Vertigo. All of those references, freedom, power, wealth, possession, are embodied right there in the opening shot. That purse is pregnant with meaning and also money. When you think about it, Rothman was right. That purse does contain a world of illusions. What does it all lead up to? Is there a unifying theory about the power of the purse? Come back for part 2.